say there's a stretch of highway in Nevada that never truly ends. No matter how far you drive, the road loops back on itself, and the same sign appears again, whispering motel, vacancy. Some travelers say it's just a trick of the desert light, but others never made it home to tell. Tonight, if you hear a whisper calling your name, don't turn around, because this story is about the one who did. Daniel Gray had been driving for 10 hours. The desert stretched endlessly under the dying sun. His phone had no signal, and his car was running on the last drop of fuel. He laughed to himself bitterly. Figures! The middle of nowhere again? Then, through the shimmering heat, he saw a flickering light, a neon sign half broken, humming softly in the wind, whispering motel, vacancy. Desperate for rest, Daniel pulled in. The place looked abandoned, wooden walls warped by time, windows nailed shut, paint peeling off like dry skin. But the office light was on. Inside sat an old man, pale as dust, eyes cloudy like old glass. He slid a rusty key across the counter and whispered, "Don't stay near the end of the hall. The rooms down there don't like company." But there was only one key, room 12. The hallway seemed to stretch far longer than it should, every step echoing like a heartbeat inside wooden ribs. At the end, a single door waited in silence. The number 12 was scratched, as if someone had tried again and again to erase it. Daniel unlocked the door. The room smelled of wet paper and faded perfume. He tossed his bag onto the chair, fell onto the creaking bed, and turned off the light. Minutes passed, then a faint breath brushed against his ear. A voice, low and broken, whispered, "You're in my room." He froze. The air grew heavy, as though the walls themselves were breathing. He turned on the lamp. Nothing. Only the curtains swaying slightly. But the window was nailed shut. The whisper came again, softer this time, trembling. "Don't leave me again." Sleep was impossible. Daniel searched the room, under the bed, behind the mirror, inside the closet. Only dust, cobwebs, and a photograph. A young woman, smiling, holding up a motel key. Room 12. On the back, faint handwriting. April 14th, 1978. Come back soon. He felt something cold in his palm. The key. But the tag with the number was gone. Then the voice returned, angrier, trembling like a heartbeat against his skull. "You left me here. You promised." Daniel backed away. The mirror on the wall began to fog, but the air was freezing cold. Letters slowly formed across the glass. "Stay." His reflection smiled back at him, but he wasn't smiling. He ran for the door, but the handle seared his hand, as if burning from the inside. He yanked it open, and the hallway outside was gone. Only endless desert remained, stretching under a starless sky. The neon sign flickered again in the distance. Whispering motel, vacancy. He turned back toward the room, but it wasn't there anymore, just sand and silence. Morning. The old manager unlocked room 12. The bed was still warm. The air smelled faintly of rain. On the desk lay a key and a photograph of a man smiling beside a broken car. The manager opened the logbook, his wrinkled hand trembling. Beneath the date April 14th, 1978, a new name had appeared. Daniel Gray. He closed the book. And somewhere down the hall, a whisper sighed through the walls. It almost sounded like a man laughing. They say the Whispering Motel always has a vacancy, because every guest leaves a piece of themselves behind. Maybe it's a memory, maybe it's a whisper, So if you ever find yourself lost on a Nevada highway at night and see that flickering neon sign glowing in the dark, keep driving, because once you check in, you never really leave.